this next name here, Anthony, I think is a good one to get into because this seems like a fit for both of these teams. We were texting before the show, and he's on the graphic. Mike Onwenu. Um, Talk to me about why you think he's a great fit for this Giants team.
I think the number one thing is his versatility. He's been a starter at right guard, he's been a starter at right tackle, and he's done both of those at a very high level. And once again, I'm going to bring up a coaching staff connection. Carmen Bristolo, the new offensive line coach who I mentioned as a connection for the Raiders guys, also a connection for the Patriots guys because he was there as their offensive line coach in 2020. So he's coached Onwenu before. Onwenu had great success under Carmen Bristolo, played right guard, played right tackle under Bristolo, continue to do that at a high level with the New England Patriots. And it sounds like the Patriots are preparing for him to leave in free agency. It sounds like they don't feel they have a very solid chance of extending him. So if the Giants are going to make any kind of a splash this offseason, I would like it to be Onwenu. I think the familiarity is there with our offensive line coach, and I think the quality is there at right tackle or right guard, whichever one, because both of those are going to be open for the Giants. Evan Neal doesn't prevent you from signing an Onwenu, even though you invested the 7th pick in him at right tackle. Onwenu is going to be a significant upgrade at right tackle or right guard, whichever position you want him to play. So he makes the most sense for me for the New York Giants because you know that even if Evan Neal ends up being your starter at right tackle, you're signing a top tier guard. And if you don't want Evan Neal as your right tackle, then you're signing a top tier tackle. So it's just kind of like signing Onwenu. You're fixing one of two positions, if not both of them, by moving Evan Neal to guard and hopefully him improving his play there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of the things you just mentioned is why he's a good fit for the Jets too, because they could potentially have either an opening at right tackle or at right guard, depending on what they want to do with Elijah Vera Tucker. And I love that he has the flexibility to play either of those two spots. His best year that he had was probably when he was playing right guard in 2022 with New England. Both those guys are really, both of those positions are ones that both these teams need to lock down in the Jets and the Giants. And, you know, for me Onwenu, another key point is something we talked about a little bit with Sean Murphy Bunting is his age. He just turned 26 in December. So it's not like you're paying a guy, for instance, Brown is a free agent from the New England Patriots. He's already over 30 years old, where Onwenu's 26. He's just entering his prime now. If you're going to pony up and pay someone in free agency, I don't know about you, but I always feel a little bit more comfortable going with the younger guy who's coming off their rookie deal than a guy who's already gotten paid, you know, is over 30 years old and maybe not the best for the long term for a team.
Yeah, 100%. I think Onwenu not only has that experience and has been a starter for several seasons, but like you said, he is young enough to be a long-term solution for the New York Giants or the New York Jets on their offensive line and at one of two positions. It's very rare that you find an offensive lineman hitting the open market that can fill more than one position on the offensive line and do both at a high level. Very rare opportunity for both the Jets and the Giants, and I think that we could see a bidding war between the two teams for Onwenu this offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels like maybe earlier on in the off, I know we're early in the offseason, free agency really hasn't hit yet, but like when the regular season came to a close, it felt like Onwenu wasn't really a name that was getting talked about as much as some of the other guys who are hitting the market. But now I feel like a lot more people are starting to recognize his talent and his markets, his price point is going up. Where do you think he ends up range wise in getting paid?
I think it's a tough question, but if I had to guess, I don't think he tops 20 million, but he probably pushes close to it. 16 to 18 million is probably what you're going to be looking at for Onwenu. So this isn't going to be, a cheap option. Jermaine Illuminor would be your cheap solution at right tackle if that's the way you want to go. But if you want to make a splash in free agency and shop at the top of the market, Onwenu is probably going to push close to that 20 million, but not reach it, in my opinion.